What's going on, Button Mashers? I'm Mr. Gamer.
And I'm Kitty Duvall.
And welcome to episode 33 of SBRReports. Trump meets with the industry? ?
Okay. Anyway.
We have finally was able to get you guys a good indie game, and believe it or not, this one is a mobile game called Slinglight. Now, in my day job, unfortunately, I have to wait for things to happen. I kind of run some code and I have to just sit there and wait. And I can't necessarily look like I'm playing a game, but with Slinglight, the idea is that with your finger, you are flicking a ball upwards, and you have different modes where you're in a maze or it's an endless mode or something like that. Similar to, there's one mode similar to Brick Break. If those are, if anyone out there old enough to remember that kind of game.
Wait, is it like that color game or is it a little different?
Well, it's definitely a little different. I'll link the YouTube video on my website with latest updates, but honestly, it's just a really kind of simple game available on Android and iOS. Slinglight, all one word, and I like the fact that it's a one-handed game you can just mindlessly play. From what I can tell, there doesn't seem to be, anything crazy about it. It's not littered with ads as well. It's just a very minimalist mobile game. I think that's excellent. Not all indie games have to be on the Switch. Not all indie games have to be on the computer. You can have an indie game on your phone, and I think that that's a really, really cool idea.
That just looks like something a lot of people are going to be playing on 420.
I suppose. I mean, I suppose.
Anyway, we've getting away from the drug allegory comment.
Right.
So Twitch announces that they're going to be giving grants to fund female streamers, and before the pitchforks come out, they're doing this in partnerships with 1,000 Dreams Fund, and the grant is called Broadcast Her Grant, to encourage and support high school and college age female content creators who are financially struggling. So, if you're in high school or you're in college, especially those young women who want to, break into the video game industry or the broadcasting industry and, make their voices heard. This is a cute thing for them. I think the pay is here it is. The pay is between $500 to $2,000 per grant, and it's going to be going on from March 1st to April 1st.
Now, is this for now? I believe we had spoken about this before. This is only for the new streamers, right? So, okay. So, unfortunately, this is for new people coming in, giving them a shot.
Yeah, the website that I have found this on called Game Rant. What did I say? I said rat.
You did say rat.
Also was speaking about the toxic gaming environments and gaming being inclusive in the gaming world. They did mention that since it's been a huge topic of conversation since the dawn of time. But honestly, I just think Xing out all of that. It's a great thing. It's Women's History Month. And things like this happen for almost every other month. Like, they have grants for everybody. So this is just something cool for young ladies.
I believe that this is going to be nice. I am,
If I hear anybody complaining, I want you to know there are grants out there for if you're left-handed. I promise you.
And unfortunately, we do know that something like that will be
mentioned.
Another thing that's going to be mentioning is that we're going to be having an additional label onto our physical games. The ESRB has tweeted out, "You may have noticed that we've been a little quiet on the topic of in-game purchases and loot boxes, but we've been listening. In fact, we've absorbed every tweet, email, Facebook post, and singing telegram sent our way, and we've been working to develop a sensible approach to let gamers and parents know when a game offers the option to purchase additional content. Starting soon, the ESRB will begin assigning a brand new label to physical games, in-game purchases. This label, or as we call it in the interactive or as we call it, interactive element, will appear on boxes and whenever those games can be downloaded for all games that offer the ability to purchase digital goods with premium real-world currency. This feature includes bonus level skin surprise items such as item packs, loot boxes, and mystery awards. Music, virtual coins, and other forms of in-game currency, subscriptions, season passes, upgrades, e.g. to disable ads, and more. We're also launching a new website, parentaltools.org, to help raise awareness of the helpful tools that parents can use to manage the amount of time or money those crafty kids spend playing games. This is the first step of many. We'll continue to discuss how to further enhance our rating system with publishers, developers, gamers, and especially parents. And we continue to make adjustments as the need arises. Thank you for your patience on all this, and your love for the games we rate.
Okay, so I want to point out that I love the fact there are, like, especially parents, because, children, when they're left alone and your credit card is attached to whatever device they are using, end up buying a lot of stuff that they're not supposed to.
Now, there are a few things that concern me. Mm-hmm. The first thing that concerned me is, unfortunately, I'm a cynic. So the negative ramifications is as follows. If a game has in-app purchases, is that game now bad? Is that going to be judge a book by its cover? Though obviously most people do judge books by their cover. The fact of the matter is, the idea of having this label on there, at least my first thought is, oh, no, this is going to be similar to Star Wars Battlefront or whatever. Because there are video games, and I have to bring this example up, like Overwatch, that do have in-app purchases. The label is not going to specifically say what type of in-app purchase it's going to have, just simply, oh, there's in-app purchases in it. Now, I also don't expect for them to get that detailed in it because it's not their job.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you on that slightly. I understand where you're coming from, but I really do feel like this is furthering helping people make informed decisions. Because seeing that rating, that thing is on the box, means that people can make informed decisions and know, hey, when I buy this means I can also spend even more money in said game if I want to.
And you know what else I think of?
What?
The fact that there has to be labels on things like don't use a hairdryer in a shower. Because that's not painfully obvious.
Look, nobody said everybody in the world was intelligent. 1. 2, the fact, and I have to bring this up again, they were mentioning parents that probably aren't gamers, who just randomly buy these games for said children.
Now, see, obviously, I know there isn't going to be like a data set that the parents can then go and look and see, oh yeah, Billy spent 4 hours and, $40 on GTA 5. Like, I'm going to look into this later, but how exactly are they going to be projecting to the parents that this is how much time and money spent on this game? Is it going to be on average? Because it's not going to be your kid unless you put your information on it. Like, you see what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, how exactly are they going to be figuring that out? I am curious about that one, but I do like it. I'm concerned about it, but I do like it because it gives the parents the ability to make an informed decision, because especially for the games that are mature and adults only, you would hope that it would be the parents buying the games, or at the minimum, you would hope that the parents know what type of video game their child is playing, so that nothing comes up as a surprise later. You always want to know what's going on in your child's life.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Speaking what's going on in children's lives, or particularly what's going on with parents' wallets.
Rhode Island, for those of you who are just now listening, last week I spoke about the Rhode Island representative that wanted to introduce a violent video game tax.
That was last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, the idea was that the tax would then go into a fund to help mentally ill children and victims of school shooting, to which I said, yeah, that's bullshit. That it won't.
Pretty words. What we don't need are more taxes on things like this.
And it turns out that we don't even have to worry about anything like that happening because, would you guess, it's actually unconstitutional.
Or at least supposedly. It faces unconstitutional laws and all that fun stuff. The ACLU's involved, so you know it's real.
So, as reported by the Daily Walkthrough, there's two problems with the proposed tax. There is a there is a law professor of the University of California, Eugene Volokh. I really hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly. He explained that there are two problems. The first problem is a free speech one. Quote, video games, violent or not, are protected by the First Amendment, end quote. He referenced Brown v. Entertainment Merchants Association, a Supreme Court case that struck down a California law because it infringed upon the First Amendment. The justices decided 7-2 that the 2005 law, which banned the sale of violent video games to children without parental consent, was unconstitutional. The second problem has to do with taxation and the First Amendment. Taxes based on the content of speech protected by the First Amendment are generally unconstitutional, quote unquote. Volokh told the DW, the Daily Walkthrough. Since the ESRB rating is based on content, a tax based on the ESRB rating would be unconstitutional. I didn't even think about that.
Wow.
Here I am thinking there's no way that this can pass. But considering our president, I guess it can happen. But then it turns out that it's unconstitutional. It's like, oh, well, to sound like Jeff Goldblum, well, there it is.
Like, that actually makes a lot of sense, because that was actually something I wasn't thinking about either. I was thinking more about the fact that it's hard to get good games in general when you have such a hardcore rating.
Well, not only that, but video game, and like, I'm not rich, but I'm not poor. Video games are expensive.
Yeah, you put a tax on a GTA 6, 7, or
okay, because the game's typical AAA base price is $60, going up to $65 now, and you're gonna add, on top of already having your sales tax, you're gonna add another violent video game tax.
Yes, so your AAA game is already like $60. Rhode Island, because this is based in Rhode Island, so it's going to go based on whatever Rhode Island taxes are. Sales taxes are. On top of that.
Yeah, no thank you. Oh, and also, another thing to mention is the final problem that Volokh mentioned, which is the legality of imposing a tax based off someone's unknown future actions. The government can't defend this on the theory that violent video games tend to cause violence. Speech of a certain content can't be restricted or taxed simply because it may lead to some of the viewers to do bad things. As the article goes on, there is mention once again of that good old violence in video games causes aggression and how it leads to violent acts. And of course, there is no study linking violent video games to violence.
I actually want to point something out, since this is American based. The stereotype for Americans is that we're pretty aggressive already, so I don't know how video games add to that. Like, I know I'm aggressive.
And I know I am.
You're unnecessarily aggressive.
I have anger problems, I can admit that.
Yeah, so I don't even know if a study would even be feasible or, like, fair, because a lot of Americans are already angry.
But once again, like, typically, whenever you say something, you want to give proof. And unfortunately, there is no proof. This tax is already unconstitutional. But, on the other hand, some pretty illegal, unconstitutional things have been known to happen and pass through. So, I'm hoping that because the ACLU is involved, that perhaps it will be taken significantly more seriously. I love when video games are taken seriously. Unfortunately, I don't like the circumstances of to which video games are being taken seriously in this regard.
Oh, same song, different year. Our commander in freaking chief is going to be meeting with members of the video game industry.
As reported on attackofthefanboy.com, Trump, we already know, has voiced his concern with video games and how video games, along with the violence that we see and pay money for in Hollywood with their movies, that these are the contributing factors to...
They haven't mentioned music yet.
Well, okay, Trump didn't, but in the vlog I mentioned those two Republican politicians who mentioned that it was rap music, video games, and violent movies.
I'm focusing on Trump. I'm surprised he hasn't mentioned music.
Now, see, what the kind of kicker here, unfortunately, is that we don't know exactly who of the video game industry he's going to be talking with.
Yeah, because that's a pretty big industry.
I mean, mind you, obviously, we know that he's only going to go after the popular ones, the big ones. So it's going to be...
Oh my god, if he talks to YouTube content creators like PewDiePie, I'm going to throw up.
Actually, if he talks to any YouTube content, no. Do not. I'm not okay with that. Because YouTube content creators are not video game developers. No.
Oh my goodness, can you imagine the completionists and having to sit there?
Please no. Please no. I love Gerard. I don't want to put him through that.
Markiplier. Oh my god.
Okay. I would rather just...
Oh my lord! Oh man, who else?
No one else. We don't need to.
What if they contact you, Mr. Gamer?
I will politely decline.
Oh no, you're not. We're gonna
go
to the White House.
No, we're not.
This would be a fun field trip.
Field trip for who?
Oh lordy.
Yeah. So. Obviously, unfortunately...
It wouldn't make sense for them to talk to anybody in Japan, obviously, because it's not a Japanese issue.
But actually, why wouldn't it, though? Because if the idea is that you're talking to people of the video game industry, regardless of their location, whatever video games they make come here. So I don't think it would just be American video game industry people that they would be talking to.
I only say that because different countries cannot technically speak about the issues that are going on in America. They can be all like, hey, this is what we did. Maybe you guys should adopt this.
Well, but I don't know if I believe that the idea is that Trump wants a change. And the companies like, let's just say Nintendo, based out in Japan, we do have Nintendo of America, but let's just say, just for the sake of this example, that there was a violent Mario game. Just like we know that games get censored when they get here, i.e. Bayonetta, there could be a request for specific things when they come to America to be omitted.
So what you're saying is if more games get censored, we're going to be buying a lot of European games.
I'll buy those type of consoles. I will. Their subtitles exist.
We're going to end up buying uncensored Japanese games. It's going to be amazing.
Now, the one thing to note here is that this comment that Trump would be meeting with members of the video game industry was made in passing. Unfortunately, do I believe that this is going to come up to be something huge that CNN... Okay, well, CNN is 24/7, so obviously they're going to be covering it. They're going to cover if, Trump coughs hard. But I don't think that this is going to be something that will be covered a whole lot because... Unfortunately, video games aren't covered until something terrible happens.
Well, that's why the president is even thinking about doing this. We'll see how Would you go if Reggie was there?
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
You'll go to DC.
If Reggie's there, yeah, I will do that.
Morals be damned.
I mean. My day job. I can fix my face.
Oh, man.
Well,
at least we now know how to get Mr. Gamer out the house.
If this crusade against video games keeps up, I think you'll see me out in the streets.
Oh, Lord. Can we not?
I will do it.
Can I at least give you a bulletproof vest?
I am pretty sure I have the ability to acquire one in the event. Thank you.
I mean, we live in Chicago, son. Come on.
Repeating previous statements.
I'm getting you one.
Yeah, thank you.
And a gas mask. Just in case.
Just in case. But we're hoping that it doesn't come to that and that I don't want all of this to just blow over, but as I believe I've said this before and I'll say it again, the attention doesn't need to be on video games. It doesn't. It never has needed to be.
I mean...
good luck trying to find a scapegoat in a video game.
I mean, it's same story, different year. Every couple of years it comes up. It's going to die down. And then when it comes up again, it's going to be because something horrible happened.
Yeah, I want people to talk about the good things that video games do. Like the fact that they raise money, they bring people together, the grant thing, like those wonderful things. Those are fabulous things that video games can do for people. I'm not going to do that on this podcast. And I am going to...
Do I smell a vlog?
You might. I don't know how one smells vlogs, but, sure, I suppose that my camera could have a particular smell.
It's a figure of speech. Oh my god.
But anyway, with that being said, this is Mr. Gamer.
And this is Kitty the Ball.
Signing off.